Attention all units, attention all units, this is Sergeant Stadenko. Attention all units, this is Sergeant Stadenko. We are changing from a Code 3 direct pursuit to a Code 347. Completely lost due to incompetence.
Delicious again, Peter.
Yes, salutations, Manchester. Peter White here once again with Joe Elber.
In the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's going down, man?
Well, we're supposed to have a special guest tonight, but he hasn't arrived yet. Senator Lou D. Alessandro.
Yeah, he's probably shivering downstairs as we speak.
But you know what? I'm going down in about 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm going to wait for him. So if I miss the show, ladies and gentlemen, you know I'm downstairs waiting for Senator Lou D. Alessandro.
It's D'Alessandro.
D'Alessandro.
Yeah.
Okay. But he might have had a tough day today in Concord, because there was a lot of bills being passed around and a lot of voting going around. So
I wouldn't worry about it, man.
So a
lot of pressure.
But hopefully it's all good for me.
A lot of pressure.
What pressure?
You know what it is? To be in the scene. To make the mean. To know what's happening. To know what's going down in your town. To make sure everything's happening down the way it has to be. And, that like that.
You can introduce him when he comes in. You have to move your jacket, though.
Oh, okay. Well, we got... you're right, Peter. I should have waited for him.
Of course you should have.
All right. Tibbetts, how you doing tonight?
Very good. I'm fine, but I'm better now. And, hey, good evening.
There's the man of the hour.
What's shaking, Lou? Always a pleasure to see you.
Nice to see you, sir.
On in.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Brother Tibbetts.
Mr. Senator.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good to see everybody.
You're looking good as usual.
Right here.
Oh, good.
Does the brother Tibbetts come from the Bradley thing?
Oh, definitely. And his mother and father, very good friends. His sister went to my basketball camp. So I've known Brother Tibbetts for a long time.
Oh, jeez.
In his formative years. How's that?
I was molded.
You were molded. There's no question about that.
Very cool.
But sorry to be...
Well, welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming
having
again.
Me. Sorry to be late, but they closed that door. And if it weren't for your previous, or the previous people who were on, we wouldn't have got in.
As a matter of fact, Patrick Arnold sends his regards.
Thank you. Well, we appreciate that.
And when you see Mr. D, tell him I said hi.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Arnold,
he was on the show before us.
Yes, right.
And then on the show before that with Joe Kelly. And then he did Chris Herbert show.
Right, Chris Herbert.
Yeah.
Right, well, he's got all...
Well, he has to. He's running for mayor.
He's running for mayor,
He's
right.
going to be on everything he can do.
It's quite the mayor's race.
I think it's going to be a heated contest.
It is. It's going to be one of the most exciting things of the summer. We have, obviously, Mayor Ted Gatsas running for re-election. We have Patrick Arnold. We have Joyce Craig.
Right.
Glenn R.J. Willett, the people's mayor. And we also have
Alibaba.
Well, I'd just like to say that that's a very nice chance for him to run. But I think the city of Manchester really, really doesn't get behind a man called Alibaba.
Oh man!
That's
It's like a magician. Man, I'm sorry, but whatever his real name is, he should have used that instead
Well, that's
of
probably his
Alibaba.
real name.
I think
Gentlemen,
it is.
hold
I think
that.
it
We
is.
got a first caller for tonight. Hi,
here
you're
we go.
first tonight on Manchsterdam.
That's always Alibaba.
Hi, caller.
Yes. Has it? I'm asking Mr. D'Alessandro. Has there ever been a lower point in his life with the state legislative branch cutting the University of New Hampshire budget again? That's all they do is cut,
Right.
cut.
Yeah, I think what happened today in the New Hampshire House of Representatives was really disgraceful, to be honest with you, to do what they did to that budget. And it's not only cuts for the University of New Hampshire, but it's cuts to the social service network that we have, draining the rainy day fund, which has an adverse effect on the financial stability of the state, could affect our bond rating. These things should not happen in a purely democratic society. We have 400 members who should be thinking about the people of the state of New Hampshire and their well-being. I think it's really it is an April Fool's Day.
Really?
Yeah,
Truly,
well, we
it is.
had a,
Out of all the things you've seen up here, up at the
Yes.
under the dome, this is one of those that stands out.
No question.
Really?
There's absolutely, and I've been there a long time.
I know.
Yes,
Wow.
and today they had a big protest because they cut a lot of the programs
Right.
and a lot of the helping of the heroin people also too. They had a protest where all the people had the dead bodies on their T-shirts and were laying down with 300, representing all the 300 bodies that have died due to heroin.
The heroin problem is
Scary.
pervasive. It is scary.
It's scary.
It's very, very scary. I've talked to Chief Mara about it. I've talked to others about it. It's a problem that's pervasive really throughout the state, not only in Manchester but Laconia and Nashua, throughout the state. We've got to do something about it. We've got to do something about it.
I
It's
don't
funny, though.
understand why the cops can't get to the sellers. I don't understand that.
Well, because it's always someone goes down. There's always someone that comes up.
Right.
There's-
I think you're right. What's happened is, there's a path, and the seller or the distributor branches it out, has the network, and it's getting to the source of where the product comes from. And they say it comes up from Lawrence, from Lowell, from New York, from New Jersey, but there's an abundant supply of heroin, and we got to stop that train.
Unbelievable.
And
really do.
the desire. I mean,
People don't realize that's a drug that doesn't discriminate. It's not
That's
your
right.
homeless people doing it.
Right.
It's not your,
Right.
it's. I mean, there's professional people that have problems
Right,
like
sure.
this too, and it just doesn't. I
right?
don't know.
Young, middle-aged, old, black, white. It affects everybody. It's a very, very serious problem. It's pervasive in our community, and it's something we have to deal with. Now, remember, under the Affordable Care Act, these alcohol and drug problems are covered.
Right.
And what the legislature did today was fail to renew our participation in the Affordable Care Act. 37,000, maybe 40,000 people who have signed up are going to be left hanging.
Really.
That's not a good situation, obviously.
See, there's two things that I don't understand by the Republicans. Why do you want to cut Medicaid? That I have no clue why, and also the money for education. Those two, I just don't get. With the Senate and the, I just don't understand that.
Yeah,
Why,
well,
those are two major things.
Absolutely.
Especially like Medicare and education for for your kids.
Right.
So I don't understand why that the Republicans are going, after those two major, things.
Right. Well, there's no logic. There's no logical explanation that they can give that indicates why they have done what they have done to the budget. There's no logic there.
It's out of control.
It is out of control.
Common sense should be the rule, and why isn't it still flabbergasts me in the world of politics? It still flabbergasts me.
Well, that's why they call it politics.
I know, but I don't understand that.
Is that
you know
why?
what I mean? Aren't you supposed to be helping the people? That's what it's supposed to be. But it doesn't happen. I'm just so...
Yeah, well, it's mind-boggling, really. At a time, we know that the recovery is slow. We know that many people don't have really decent paying jobs, and they need some services. But indeed, to choke the methodology by which we serve people,
Right.
It's starving the beast.
Right.
And when you do that, everybody suffers. Education, we pride ourselves in at least having accessibility, and we worry about affordability. When you do things like this, you cancel the affordability. You make it unaffordable. Very problematic. We've got to do better.
Very problematic is right. You are correct.
We've got to do better.
Unbelievable. It's like trying to get the 3 books of the
Shades of Grey.
Shades of Grey out of Moose. We can't get the 3 books. He
said he read
has them. He says he read them. Well, actually, he said he. What do they call that? Speed reading. He spruced
The
through
Cliff
them.
Notes.
Yeah, I just
He spruced through
I
them.
thumbed through the
He thumbed through
3
it.
editions.
But
All the good
he
parts.
says he's going to keep them back, and we got nothing. He's still.
We're still waiting for those books that you say you
BS.
have.
Next week I'll bring the books in.
Yeah, we'll see.
Sticking with in Concord, I know this means a lot to you. Next week, big decision on the
Right.
gambling bill.
Yes.
This is your baby.
It is. It's
And
something.
how do we stand as we speak? You got the votes to pass, or
We passed it in the Senate.
correct?
The public hearing in the House is on April 7th. I think it's a mixed bag. People now recognize the fact that we need economic recovery, we need job creation,
Something.
and we need it now. Now, how many minds will be changed? I don't know. I sent an email out to every member of the House and gave them a list of the dollars that will come back to their community. Those dollars will help abate any tax increases on the property tax. Sent them another email with different people's views on the issue from a business magazine. Try to give them as much information as possible before the hearing and the vote. So working on both of those things as we speak. It's always an uphill battle.
But you're talking about a casino thing, and people are always saying like, "Oh, they think mafia right away."
Right.
Then that's the sad part about it. They don't realize, that the mafia, really isn't as big as it used to be. They found out about these guys. You know what I mean? But as far as how it's going to be run.
Tibbetts watched The Godfather before he came to the show.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. But as far as how it's going to be run, I mean, that is how the people will vote to it, I think.
Well, we have a very, very solid plan for the bill. The state police are in charge. It'll go over to the Lottery Commission. The Lottery Commission will manage it. We set up a new entity in state government to oversee it. We've had the experience of looking at gaming operations that have been in place for the last 20 or 30 years across the country. We've had 2 enormous studies done in New Hampshire. We've taken all of the requests that these committees have made. We've incorporated them in a piece of legislation. We will have the best organized gaming entity in the country. Truly, people have looked at our bill and they say the bill is really first rate, really first rate. We'll manage it well. We'll, as I say, we put it out to bid. We got a decent tax rate. We got a good distribution for the proceeds, and we know that the people want it. To me, it's a no-brainer in that context.
So let me ask you this:
Sure.
Are they taking the vote next week to see if yay or nay, yay or no? I mean,
Well, we don't know.
okay. So if the bill is defeated,
Yes.
just an example, what would be is it dead for good?
Well, if the bill is defeated, we'll fight it on the floor.
Because in June, Plainville, I think that's down in Connecticut,
Yes,
is
they-
opening up their casino.
They open up the slot parlor. That's correct.
So that should be, and Mass is going to open up one
Yes,
very
right,
shortly too.
right.
So it seems like New Hampshire is always behind the 8 ball. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, you just mentioned a couple of minutes ago, it's going to bring a lot of money back into the Manchester community, which is probably millions of dollars, which
Yes.
we can use.
Right.
And probably help like education and whatever.
Well,
But I'd be surprised at this day and age if this bill doesn't pass. I don't think it's going to pass. Never.
Well, I think you're right. We've worked at this for the last 17 years. We've brought it to the floor of the House. We lost by 1 vote last session. So we've made headway.
Mm-hmm.
But we still have the same protagonists against the legislation that were against the lottery 50 years ago. Those people have not disappeared. What we have to prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And it's not going to hurt the restaurants. It's not going to hurt the Verizon. It's not going to hurt the Fisher-Cat Stadium. It isn't going to hurt any of those things.
That's what I've heard.
Well,
It's going to embellish those things.
Yeah.
right, because it'll bring people.
Yes,
It's like when it snows up north. It brings people skiing.
right. I mean, it's just a question of,
Now, are you looking at, Rockingham? Is
well,
that-
it can go any place. It's an open bid process.
See, Rockingham,
Rockingham,
like T just said, that'd be the ideal location because the people that are going to run it, I think they're businessmen from Vegas, and they want to spend between 50 to 75 million to upgrade Rockingham to make it like Churchill Downs. That's their
Where'd
goal.
you hear that?
Oh, that's been right along in the papers.
yeah.
You read it. But
Excuse me. In the bill, they have to spend $475 million. $475 million, excluding the purchase of the land. So that's almost a $500 million
sure.
Yeah,
to get that.
That's money.
And that license costs $80 million. There's an $80 million fee. You get a license for 10 years. There's a 35% tax rate. And you must spend $475 million in refurbishing the entity or building the new entity. And that takes care of the plumbers, the carpenters, the bricklayers, the laborers. And we have good relationships with the locals with regard to that. So I think that's a really good thing. Permanent jobs, 40,000 plus benefits. I mean, all of these things are they're capable of being done if we have the will to make it happen. We had the will in the Senate. We passed the bill. Now the question is the House. And the House passed a budget today that they should be ashamed of, truly.
You were let down today.
Absolutely. And just take this one example. They took all of the money out of the rainy day fund. Took the $9 million out of the rainy day fund, took money away from the university system,
Why would
defunded
someone do
service
that?
leave.
Are they putting it in the general fund? Is that what's happening?
That's what they did.
Because, I always thought, the scratch tickets we have,
Yes.
okay? And they always say it goes to education. And I'm like, great, it goes to education. I never got, in my 34 years of teaching, I never got anything from the state of New Hampshire. And I used to bust my dad's balls and say, Dad, where the hell's the money going, you
It does
white
go
guy?
It does go to
go.
education. It does go to education. Right now it goes into the adequacy grants.
Right.
And the adequacy grants come on a per pupil basis
And
to
what
every
is
student
that?
in
What
the
is
school.
the adequacy grants? Because people don't know that.
The adequacy grant
Yes.
was determined by what makes up an adequate education.
Okay.
And they came up with a series of things. It's, a teacher, a library, and so forth and so on. They costed each one of those items, got an aggregate cost. The aggregate cost is about $3,450. Excuse me. Then they put in a couple of other things. One is free and reduced price lunch. If you're on free or reduced price lunch, you get a little more money. If you're not up to grade by the third grade in reading, you get a little bit more money. those are the
You're
ingredients.
saying it goes to actual schools.
Yes, comes
And,
right to the city, and then
Except to your
So
class.
it never came to Manchester. It just went
Oh,
to
it-
all these other places.
no, it always came. It always came. It always came to
It
Manchester.
went everywhere except your class, T.
Holy cosmuckla! How do I run out of paper, for example? How the school run out of paper, and you have to request paper from the public
Why don't you go to
No,
the supply
I mean-
closet?
because there's nothing there.
So besides the gambling, Bill,
Yes.
What's else is on the horizon that's big? That's be between now and the end of the year that you see.
Sure. Another huge bill is the Electric Utility Public Service Company of New Hampshire, which is now called Eversource.
Yeah, what happened there?
They're going to divest themselves of their generating capacity. That means the Bow Power Plant, the Newington Power Plant, and Schiller will be divested over a period of time. All of their hydro dams will be divested over a period of time. They'll be put on the open market and sold, and Eversource will become a distribution company rather than a generator of power. Now that's a good move in this context. It costs more to generate power by these units because of their age than it does to buy it on the open market. But when the demand on the open market exceeds the supply, you have to go to the spot market, and you pay a very significant higher price. So at the same time we're doing this, we've got to come up with a plan to get more energy into this area, more energy into New England, period.
That's why we
that-
started this show.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
so that's why. That's why they're
your guys are supplying some juice, I'll tell you that.
So that's why they're forcing in
Get that right.
that's why they're forcing in the thing up north.
Well, they're not forcing it in, but the Northern Pass,
Yeah,
Is-
they're forcing it in.
that's one alternative because it's power. It's
Yeah,
power
but,
from,
I mean,
from
they-
Hydro Quebec.
That thing is going in no matter what. I mean, the people that try to fight it, it's over. You know,
Is it over?
No, I don't think it's over, but it seems to me that it's in everybody's best interest to get more power into this state at a reasonable cost. You know, people talk about taxes being too high, business taxes. I think that's erroneous. Our business taxes are what they are. 1.1% of the businesses pay 76.5% of the business profits tax. So don't tell me the taxes are too high. It's the energy costs that drive the cost of doing business.
Right.
We've got to reduce those if we're going to retain or we're going to bring new industry into this state. We have got to do that. Now that's natural gas, it's hydro, it's whatever is out there being produced at a reasonable cost. We have an excess supply of natural gas. We got to get it in here. And you know what happened to the gas prices in the middle of the winter. We didn't have an adequate way to get them in here. The prices jacked up beyond belief. People's electric bills doubled. They doubled. And that's unbelievable in terms of the effect on the individual homeowner who sees their electric rate doubling. That's got to be dealt with, truly. If we don't deal with these problems, and we don't deal with them now, you can't keep putting these things off.
Right.
We've got to deal with these problems now.
Well, I think what some people, especially people that have lived in New Hampshire their entire lives, and you forget about it, you take for granted that there's no sales tax and there's no income tax
Right.
in this state.
Hold that thought, Mr. White. We got another call. Hi, you're next tonight on Amsterdam. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi, what can we
Listen,
do?
I've got a question for Lou, if I can get to him.
Sure, go ahead, caller.
Excuse me?
Go ahead.
Yes,
He's right
yes.
here. Good, ask away.
Well, listen, energy for the state of New Hampshire.
Yes.
I've never heard anyone, I'm a senior citizen here, born, brought up in Manchester,
We could tell.
5-generation family. I've never heard anybody talk about the fact that Hydro-Quebec is the largest source of hydropower in the United States. And
Hey, caller, do me a favor and turn down your TV, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll wait for you.
And I'm wondering why this subject never comes up. You can't get any cheaper. You can't get anything any cleaner than hydropower. And there's enough power, I believe, in Hydro-Quebec to heat all the homes in New England and power the whole eastern coast of the United States all the way to Florida. Why doesn't somebody bring this stuff up? Why doesn't somebody do something about this? Thank you.
Okay. Well, I mean, to address your question, because I think it's a good one, Hydro-Quebec is the largest producer of hydro-generated power on the North American continent.
Niagara Falls, correct?
It's larger than Niagara Falls. It really is.
And that's why they're coming through the Northern Pass.
Well, they've got to get that power out of there. They've got to sell it. I mean, they have excess capacity. Now, the idea is, why can't that excess capacity be brought to the United States? Vermont has a 25-year deal with Hydro-Quebec. That's where they're getting their power, or a large portion of their power. You know, we got to think about that. How can we put together a deal that gets that power to New Hampshire and services the New Hampshire base? Because you can control the cost of that power. It's very consistent. It's the transmission cost that you have to deal with, and that's the whole problem with hydro as we speak.
We have enough power to keep ourselves going. We need to add this.
Yes, we need.
I hope it goes right through your backyard, T.
we do need supply.
I still use batteries on my stereo.
we need
that's
supply.
What it is?
Oh, sure, we need supply. I wrote an op-ed piece. It's in the Concord Monitor today, and it's really supply. We're a larger state. The production that we have within our state is old. Okay, Bow is old. Newington is old. Schiller is old. Schiller is wood, coal, and oil. Right. Newington is gas and oil. Bow is basically coal.
And then what about here?
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Manchester.
Manchester, we have that hydro. We have a hydro facility in Mesquite Falls.
Right.
But we get most of our power from PSNH, and it comes from the Merrimack Station, which is the generator of power. And we're also getting it from ISO, from the control point for ISO New England, which moves the power around.
Wow.
But we need more power. People, they want to be cool in the summer. They want to be warm in the winter, right?
Solar energy.
Solar's a good alternative.
Yeah,
Sure, why not? Solar, hydro, wind. We need a combination of all of these things. But you need capacity. We've got to have capacity to meet the needs, because the cost of doing business, if the cost of doing business is so affected by the cost of electricity, then the price of that product becomes non-competitive. That's where we stand at this point in time. Businesses operating in this state saw increases of $1 million in their cost of power. That has to be abated if you're going to be competitive in the business world.
Wow.
I like to shift gears back to the that we talked about 10 or 15 minutes ago about the Manchester mayor's race. Did you happen to catch Ted Gatz's speech last night?
No, I missed it. Okay. I mean, his budget presentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, like Peter mentioned...
I also missed it.
Peter mentioned about, a while back, you got Ted Gatzis, you got Patrick Arnold,
right,
and now you got Joyce Craig.
Yes.
How do you see that? How
Lou is actually
don't forget Ali Baba.
And Ali, okay.
Lou is actually endorsed Joyce Craig.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was my question. How do you see that playing out in November? Who do you predict it's going to be 1-2 on the ballot?
Well, I think it's going to be a very competitive race. You got the incumbent, who I'm assuming is going to run again.
Yep.
Two very good candidates.
I don't think he's going to run again.
He is running.
Let me before you get into that.
Yeah,
He
sure.
said on this show he is definitely running.
I know.
Do you see a change at the top, and then you can go on what you see?
Yes, I do.
You do. Okay.
I do. Too.
Yes.
I see a change.
I mean, just look at the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all done.
Look at the city. Look
Okay.
at
Let me,
look
get
at
a
what's
call
happened to
up.
our city.
Hi, you're next tonight on Amsterdam.
You're on the air.
Yes, do you want to party? April Fools.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Oh.
Do you want to party?
That was Mayor
Fools?
Ted Gatzis.
April Fools.
That was Mayor Ted Gatzis calling.
Oh, God, that's hilarious.
It sounded like Remy to me. So you do see a change at the top. Prediction 1-2 in November on the ballot.
I think it's a little early to make the prediction. Let's make sure that the field is fully announced
I'll tell you
itself at
who's
this
gonna
point.
win. The man or the woman. Any politician, as you know, can say what they're going to do,
Yes.
but how they do it.
Well,
So
sure.
the politician that says, I'm going to do this, and this is how I do it, that's the one that wins.
That's the one for you, right,
That's
T?
the one that wins.
Well, I think, first of all, how well known are the candidates? Patrick Arnold ran once before, came close. Gatzis has been there for a period of time. Joyce Craig has been a school board member and an alderman. So I think it's a pretty good track record from those candidates that have surfaced at this point in time. So my viewpoint, for what it's worth,
No, serious. That's what we want to hear.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
My viewpoint says this: the person who will be the next mayor of Manchester will have a vision for the city, and that vision will be backed up with a series of actions that have to take place.
Exactly.
And it's quite
How are you going to do it?
and it's quite clear
Oh, yeah.
what we need. I walked in the parade Sunday down Elm Street.
Yeah, you look very good on. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Yeah, you right next to Governor
Governor
Maggie.
Hassan,
Yeah,
right.
very good.
That's it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
She's a
awesome.
cutie.
Yeah.
I said that if I were running for mayor, the first thing that I would promise, I would repave Elm Street. There are so many holes on Elm Street, so many cracks and so forth. And
The whole city's like that.
That's
though.
the least amount.
and I'm not being
Sarcastic.
sarcastic or I'm not being condescending with regard to the work that our people do. I'm just saying these are things that must be done, and you must
that's
spend money to
infrastructure.
do it. Absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
infrastructure, and that's got to be that has to be fixed. So, the person with a vision, the person with a plan to make that vision a reality, will be the next mayor of this city.
Oh, you do.
Do
it.
you see yourself running for mayor this year?
No,
We need to. No, okay. No, that's an honest question.
it is very.
It is an honest question.
I don't think so.
My
Why
wife
not?
would kill me.
Why not?
I mean,
No.
yeah,
Not this
no,
year.
he's happy
Not
where
this
he
year.
is.
Point.
Not this year, Lou, but
Yeah.
like, why not? Why not? Have you had a mayor's run in the past?
No, I've never
No.
run for mayor.
Why
Never
not?
ran
though?
for mayor.
Yeah, we
Because I can tell you love the city.
Yes,
Great
I do.
coach, though.
Thank you.
Great coach.
Thank you. I have a strong feeling for the city. All of my children went through the school system.
Yeah.
My wife went through the school system. Manchester native. My father-in-law, God rest his soul, one of the founders of the West Boosters Club.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
A wonderful, wonderful guy. Spent all of his life working in the city. I think the city has great potential,
It does.
Oh.
but the city needs someone to lead them down that road to
Exactly.
deliver
Don't be
to
afraid
deliver
to
that
change
potential.
a little bit.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
everyone. I think it goes with everyone. Everyone's a little bit afraid of any kind of change,
Yeah, sure,
I don't
absolutely.
and
Yeah,
and
that's
and
true.
Change is good.
it
It
is
is good.
Now-
It is good.
Now,
Yes.
I'm not from this area, so I don't know. I'm starting to learn, Peter teaches me a lot about Manchester. Is Joyce Craig the first woman ever running for...
Not running. She's not the first woman.
Okay, so there was others.
No,
that
but
ran
what I'm
before.
saying
Yes,
is, what
yes.
I tell you is that Manchester actually has never had a female mayor.
Right, but Donna,
Okay, but others did run.
yeah,
in the
Donna
past.
Susie
Okay.
ran. Donna Susie ran
Donna
for mayor.
Susie
Oh,
ran,
Donna-
Jane Bolio.
Jane
Oh,
Polio.
okay.
But Donna Susie ran. I think that's the most recent. Ran against Baines in a primary, and they were against Wazurek, who was the incumbent mayor.
Right.
Baines won the primary, and Baines ended up being the mayor of Manchester. And I think Bob Baines did a good job. Really, I mean, made some significant
I
improvements.
think he was a better mayor than he was a principal.
Well, I've never had him in class.
I know. I know you don't know the inside stories. I know.
Right.
But that's the way it is.
Right. Well, but all of my children went to West, so I think that to answer your question about a woman, women have run for mayor of the city of Manchester, and we've had a number of women who were president on the board of aldermen. That's something that's taken place. We now have a number of women on the school board, and I think the representation in the House and the Senate has included more women. So women have really taken
the
their place.
women have come up.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Which
and
is
you know,
fine.
There's no conflict with that, because if a woman is good and she's, pounding it out and doing, what is good for the people, that's fantastic. There's no reason to say, she got it because she's a woman. No, she earned it, and that's the way it is.
If
you know
get
what I mean?
elected to any,
That's right. You earned it.
Earned it. It doesn't
That's
matter
right.
what anyone
That's
else
right.
says. You earned it.
So, question:
Exactly.
Hillary Clinton.
Yes,
she got a shot winning next year.
absolutely,
I agree.
absolutely.
I think she
totally
has
agree.
no
First-
shot whatsoever.
Really? How about you?
I
Peter?
think the United
not
States
sure.
is all done with the Clintons.
I'm still
No,
looking
I
around.
think
All
I'm looking
done
at
with the
everything. I
Bushes,
look at
like
everything.
Jed Bush. I don't think he has a shot either. I think America is all done with those people. They want someone new, someone who has a new look, a new feel. As I said before, someone who says what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. They're not the regular rigmarole is not going to work. I don't care who you are. The regular rigmarole is done.
Well, I think times have changed, especially, and I know you've probably seen social media.
Yes.
It
you
changes
bet. Oh,
people's
yeah.
minds. It actually
Oh, it's amazing.
it's
amazing. But I think, again, if we could just transpose what I said about mayor to the presidency, I think most people in America, particularly that large section that's in the middle, that's really been ignored, to be honest with you. They feel ignored. They feel that the economy has not helped them. They're working
economy has not
harder and
helped
getting
them.
less.
There's been no help.
They cry for leadership and vision. And we need someone who gives us both. It's my feeling that Hillary Clinton can do that. I believe strongly that
Well,
she
she
can do
better
that.
say how it's done, because Obama lied. Obama said he was going to help the middle class, and when he got elected, he did nothing for the middle class. He gave all the money to corporate crap. I mean, he could have given $10,000 to everyone in the United States and let them buy a car, and the economy would have rose like this. He did nothing for the middle class. So we are the backbone of America, and he turned his back on us.
You're really not a big fan.
And that's it. And that's why. That's why the next politician who's going to run has to say how it's going to happen. America is all done because they won't vote. And that's the saddest part about it all. The people that don't vote when they should.
See, the problem with that is that they're going to tell you what we want to hear.
Right.
So when it comes to the end, that's it. Okay,
That's
I promise
what I'm
you
saying.
this. I promise you that. But do they deliver? That's the key.
There was no
It's all-
deliverance.
the
know what I
thing is,
mean?
It's not about I want what you want, and I'm not going to do what you want. It's all about compromise, and nobody seems to be able to do it these days.
Well, I think nobody.
How you going to
I think
do
you're
the
right,
program?
right. But it seems to me the vision that we talk about, you got to have it, but you have to put the methodology in place to deliver it.
Right.
Exactly.
And I mean that's the key. But I think
I'm very disappointed in the world of politics, Lou.
Well,
I'm going to tell you, getting back to the Clintons.
Let people vote.
I think their
vote,
machine is too powerful. I really do. That they got all the backers, that they got all the investors, and the Clintons. Hold on. Hi, you're next tonight on Manchsterdam. Got a caller.
Bill Clinton here.
Hi, this is Hoppy, your good friend. I just want to say something about the gambling in New Hampshire. I just saw how the Republicans, they voted down Keno and the Governor Hassan's budget. And, it just astounds me. I know Republicans, their whole thing is they want to shrink the state. They have all these budget cuts. But this is what I don't understand. I don't understand that with all the revenue shortfalls, how the state reps from Manchester could, last year, many of them voted against the gaming bill. And I can't understand with the revenue shortfalls that are even more intense this year, how anybody from Manchester that represents Manchester could vote against it. The thing is, we don't have the broad-based taxes, we don't have a sales or an income tax, and we're not going to get one. That's the pledge. And, I'm going to go up to Concord on the 7th and speak out, and I think others should turn out. But honestly, it just befuddles me. Like last year, the one vote coming shy. We need the revenue. This bill, I've read it. It looks very good. But, and maybe Lou can talk about it. I think we need to call our reps. Manchester needs this revenue. My God, I think with the schools, and Lou could probably answer this, aren't they the revenue sharing is going to be cut this year? That's all I got to say, but I really think that now that Massachusetts is going to be a gaming state, how can New Hampshire afford not to be? Well, take care, guys. Nice.
I hope that
was exactly my point. How can we not, you made a good point about Mass and Connecticut. Why not New Hampshire? Why not New Hampshire?
I hope that northern pass goes right through Hopwood's backyard.
Tell you the truth, I'm a gambler. I like to gamble. And I would like to see something happen either at Rockingham or maybe at
your apartment,
at the Belmont Lodge or Seabrook or whatever. Why
not just have a poker game at your place?
Yeah, okay, anybody's invited. But I'd be very, very. I might go with John Hopper Tuesday and
that'd be great.
And get up. Maybe I'll even speak.
Why not?
You're really going to speak?
Yeah.
And that's what we need.
Yeah.
We need ordinary people.
Like me.
Yes. Who have a vested interest in the state.
Yeah.
And the well-being of your neighbors, your friends, your neighbors. You want to see them get something better out of this situation. We restore revenue sharing at $25.2 million a year. Revenue sharing has been suspended for the last 6 years. Hasn't been any revenue sharing, and it's suspended in this budget. We restore revenue sharing. That's a lot of money coming back to, and we sent out a list as to what every town would receive in terms of revenue sharing if we passed our bill.
What would be the ballpark figure that Manchester would get from this gambling bill if it's passed?
They get about $3 million.
$3 million.
Yes.
Wow.
That's not too shabby.
Right, and that's what they're not receiving now.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
$3 million.
That means that we might have better computers than the guys in jail. That's pretty good.
The guys in jail have computers?
Of course they do.
They do?
Are you kidding me?
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, go to a jail. They all become lawyers.
I don't know about that one, Tia, but I don't know. Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Being a teacher,
it's terrible.
Knows. Oh, absolutely.
Terrible.
So
I'm out of paper, and this guy's got on a computer. I don't have a goddamn computer for my own class. Are you kidding me? Terrible.
How's all the grandkids, Lou?
Good, thank you.
Everyone's good. How's our friend, our favorite superhero?
Our favorite Blue Bear is doing well, and he's in the group of superheroes in Salem. They're having a big fundraiser at the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's really doing well. He's doing well in school.
Awesome.
His OT and PT are working out. He had a little ear infection, which plagued him for a little while. But he's a tough kid.
Yeah,
Got
no
a great.
kidding. He's a
How old
superhero.
is he now?
He's now 7.
Good man.
But he's got a great mother, great father. They pay a great deal of attention to him, and a great grandmother who hangs in there.
Oh yeah.
He needs a lot of care.
Yeah.
But
when you're in that situation, you have to keep pushing.
He's
That's
really
good.
Yeah, he's a remarkable.
Nice.
He's a remarkable kid.
Nice to hear.
In many ways. So a lot of good things happening.
So if people want to get in touch with you, they can call you at your office at
absolutely.
603-271-2600.
Yes.
And, talk about the gaming bill. It's going to be next Wednesday, correct?
The 7th, yes.
It's going to be a biggie.
Well, basically, we want everyone
I got
to call
my
their
fingers
state
crossed.
reps.
Right. We want them all to call their state reps.
All your state
Yeah,
reps.
all your state reps, sure.
That's what we have to do. We have to convince the state reps that we have a good plan. It's good for New Hampshire. We got them to vote for them. And I think the hearing is Tuesday. The 7th is Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday. Yeah. It's before House Ways and Means. And we got to swing that committee. That committee has time after time after time voted against us.
Yeah.
I
get them in.
mean, I can't figure it out, to be honest with you.
Well, I'll be rooting for you.
Well, thanks.
Guys.
No, we
see,
need
that's
a little
the-
rooting.
Common sense sometimes doesn't prevail. You know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't. That's
Drives
true.
you crazy, man.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever been to the Dana Center at St. Anselm's
Yes.
to see an outfit?
Yes,
Isn't that a great place?
it is. Yeah,
It is. My buddy Bob Shea, he's the one that got the Palace Theater rebuilt.
right.
And then he had to move on. And he still runs the Dana Center at St. Anselm's and, of course, the Barnstormers in Tamworth.
Yeah, that's a great place.
And they got some great shows coming up next week. On a Wednesday, they have the, what is it called? Oh, on Wednesday, they have the comedian thing, which is unbelievable. They call themselves the Shakespeare guys. They're from San Francisco. And they've done, they call themselves Shakespeare because that's what they used to do on the streets.
Right.
But it's a total comedy package. That's next Wednesday. And on Friday, they have, of course, this Thai drumming out of San Diego. So if you guys want to see a great show, go to the Dana Center. Tickets are available at the website. And, of course, you can always call 641-7700. So, there you go. St. Anselm.
So you brought in something tonight, didn't you? Didn't you bring in a little surprise for us?
Oh, no.
Where is that thing?
Oh, you mean the...
Tell me what this is. I think you're going to appreciate this, though.
This is... I'm going to lend it to Arnold. This is... Look how old this is.
So the audience can see it.
This is the Perma Power sound system.
T, hold that thought because we got a caller
Yeah,
on
oh,
hold.
yeah.
Okay, he has to set it up
And,
anyway.
I know.
Okay, you're next tonight on Manchsterdam. Go ahead, caller.
No, you got to plug it in.
Hi, go ahead.
Oh, you plug it in.
I don't think so.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
The clarity on this.
Question for Lou,
You would think it would be fuzzy.
if I may. On the Hydro-Quebec situation that he spoke about, the Eversource, I guess is what they call now, has spent millions of dollars fighting to bring in Northern Pass on the towers and on the towers that they and the roadway that they currently own. The amount of money that they spent, if it had been invested in burying the line, they could already have had all the people up in the North Country who are opposed on their side, most probably. Number two, only what apparently people do not realize is that only 10% of what is being brought in by Hydro-Quebec is going to go to New Hampshire. The rest is going south. And I'm curious as to your take on that.
Well, I think two things. First of all, I think you're right in this context that when they rolled this thing out, they didn't do it properly. I think that's a fact, and that caused a lot of consternation as to where's the line going to be and how much is going to be buried and how much isn't.
Yes,
Those
that was terrible in the beginning.
It was a bad rollout.
They were going to kill all the scenic,
Well, again, that wasn't handled as well as it could have been. I think they're doing a better job of working on it now. The idea is you have got to create a deal that gives New Hampshire the benefits.
Right.
And that's paramount because you're going to bring that line through New Hampshire. Now, sure, not all of the power is going to stay in New Hampshire, but there'll be a situation in Franklin where jobs will be created. And as I understand it, you'll convert from DC to AC and get the power out there. But New Hampshire's got to retain.
Tibbetts just surprised you said ACDC.
Yeah, that's funny. But no, Franklin is big.
Yes.
Their dam and everything. Holy cow!
Well, Franklin is very much in favor of the Northern Pass. I mean, the Northern Pass has gone through iteration after iteration. What I'm saying is we need more power. That's the bottom line. We need more power. Where you're going to get the power from at the reasonable cost is really the question that must be answered. There is hydro, there's gas. Both of those are acceptable from the clean air standpoint. They don't generate the carcinogenics that the mercury and et cetera that other plants do. So that's something that has to be spelled out, and people have to address it. And we also have to protect the jobs that we have in New Hampshire now. All of those things can be done if reasonable people get together.
Amazing. It really is.
All right, we got another caller. Hi, you're next tonight on Manchsterdam.
Hi, I've got another statement to make on Hydro-Quebec, please.
Sure.
Go ahead.
The New York State is getting everything they want out of Hydro-Quebec. Hello, New York State is getting everything they want out of Hydro-Quebec.
Yeah.
They've got it. They've got the power coming in underground, completely under that. I forget the name of it, but that Great Lake that borders Vermont and
Lake Champlain.
Yeah,
Lake Champlain.
And they're swinging all kinds of deals and promising Quebec businesses that they can set up. I mean, if somebody wants to get this stuff done, they can get it done. Thank you.
Northern Pass, everybody.
Thank you.
Right. Well, I mean, the caller makes good sense. New York does get power from
I think that guy's
Hydro-Quebec.
calling from the west side.
Right, I hope so.
Well, the west side, the French people are on the west side.
We have
Bonjour.
Right, we have
French
we have
population.
I live on the west side.
It used to
I
be
live on the
French.
west side.
Now it's Dominican.
Yeah, we live on the west side, Peter, don't we?
Well, I like to think we live in northwest.
Oh, northwest, okay.
Well, that's
Well,
probably
that's
a very
it.
good place, Northwest.
Yeah, that's good.
Northwest. I think I think I might live in the far west of the west side.
Oh, so you're a cowboy.
I'm a cowboy.
Giddy
Right.
up! Giddy up!
The old west side.
Right.
You know, when I was doing some research on you the other day, I was very impressed on your education background. It was amazing. For example, like Franklin Pierce University, Daniel Webster College, New Hampshire Institute of Arts. You got to do obviously, UNH and River College. I mean, when I saw that on your resume, that
I think you meant to say Revere.
I was touched. I said, "Wow!" I mean,
That mine is
you gotta be a
coaching.
genius.
Well,
He forgets the coaching.
right.
Poor guy.
Oh,
At this
coaching,
point,
I'm
at
sorry.
this point, you're like the patriarch of New Hampshire.
Well, that's going a little bit too far, but thank you very much. I think, in truth, the state's been very good to me, and I hope I hope that through my work in education, through my work in politics, through my work in coaching, I've been able to give back to the state in recognition for what they've done for me. Now, just last week, and one of the great things about coaching, and Brother Tibbetts can get this, is when someone that you've coached succeeds. And I've seen some of my players do very good things for New Hampshire. And just last week, one of the best kids that I ever coached passed away in Virginia, Kevin Moran, the Moran family.
Wow.
Big in Manchester.
Yeah,
but he went to Bishop Bradley. He had a great career. Went to East Carolina University. Was an All-American player there. Just a wonderful guy, and thought enough of me to remember me while he was in the last stages of his life. That's a real compliment to me.
Lovely
I think
accolade.
In this context, someone really benefited from the work that I was able to do and appreciated it. And I mean, I can't ask for anything more than that. That's great.
It's a beautiful thing.
And he was a great kid. Played hard for me.
That's right. It is.
Did a lot of good
when
things
they're
for
great
life.
kids, you know what I mean?
Well, I
God
think
dang, that's the best.
Well, the majority of them are terrific kids.
Yeah.
And I think if they get involved in sports at any level, it does a lot to help them out. But they do good things for this city, I'll tell you. I can't tell you the number of Bradley kids that are involved. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're involved in our community and doing good work. So that's a big deal. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it.
Nice.
Now, when you were coach, was you like one of those like tough guys? Come on, blow the whistle. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what my wife says.
Oh yeah.
How's she doing, by the way?
She's great. She's great. She's great. And
We loved meeting her last time you were here. She was a great woman.
she's
We had a lot of fun with
terrific.
her.
Yeah.
She's down to earth. She gets the joke.
She is down to earth, and I said that again when you start out in coaching, and I know we're getting away from other things, but in my first years of coaching, I would bring the uniforms home after the game, and my wife would wash them, dry them, and get them ready for the next game.
Well,
That's right.
I'll tell you what, I
That's
actually
right.
brought a change of clothes, and these could be washed.
We'll do it. We'll do it. She'll do it. She'll take care of it.
No, but that's part of the fun. Oh, yeah.
No, it's all,
Let's all take our clothes off right now. Give them
Go over to Joyce Craig's house.
That's right, Joyce Craig's house.
that's not a bad idea.
Well, listen, it's 10:58, and Lou, can I say thank you again for coming on? I really appreciate
great to
it.
be
I
here.
really feel like
We
you
have so
like
much
us
fun.
now.
I think the world of you, and I think it's a great.
We have so much
It's
fun.
a great
with you. Come
program.
on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's
just
fun.
a great guest, a great overall. You're a Manchester guy, which
Well, I hope so.
Which I like.
Yeah, well,
T, what's going on with you this weekend?
Well, this weekend we're taking a break, and it's going to be fun. My wife just came back from Florida and
Lucky
taking
you.
care of the in-laws.
Okay.
So I'm very happy she was here. We had a lovely weekend last weekend with the one and only John Eric O'Neill. We went down to Atlantic City. Actually, it was called the Egg Harbor Township, and we played at one of these golf links. So every hole was after Ireland, Scotland, England, no trees whatsoever. So on Saturday, the wind really killed us, but on Sunday, it was beautiful, and we had some lovely golf, and we had a wonderful time.
Excellent,
Keep it
T. Well, listen, I want to thank Lou D'Alessandro for coming on the show tonight.
thank you guys.
And always, T, Joel, love you guys. And you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Anytime.
Hey, I want to wish everybody a very, very happy Easter.
Yes.
Enjoy your
Easter,
family, get
right.
together, and have a great holiday.
I just make one point before we close. Get out there to Concord on Tuesday on the 7th of April. Get up there and speak about the gambling bill. Let's make this happen this time.
Okay.
And let New Hampshire be number one. And we'll see you next time.
Passover
Atta
from
boy,
Lou.
rock on!
And happy Passover.
Oh, that was a good one.